So tonight, an exclusive interview with one of the most influential and pivotal figures in Nigeria's rapidly shifting political landscape, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, former governor, former minister of defense, leader of the influential Kwankwasia movement, and now a central player in what could become the defining opposition realignment ahead of the 2027 presidential election. The political calculations have changed dramatically in recent days. The NDC has now officially zoned its presidential ticket to the south, and Senator Kwankwaso, despite being one of the North's most formidable political figures, has publicly supported that decision. For many analysts, that is being interpreted as a major signal about the future direction of the opposition. At the center of the conversation is the growing alliance between Senator Kwankwaso and Mr. Peter Obi, two politicians whose supporters insist command something increasingly rare in Nigerian politics: organic, passionate, grassroots followership. But as momentum builds, so do the questions. Is this truly a merger of vision and ideology, or simply electoral arithmetic aimed at stopping President Tinubu from securing a second term? Has Dr. Kwankwaso effectively endorsed Mr. Obi's presidential path by supporting southern zoning? What happens to northern political expectations inside this alliance? And where does this leave Atiku Abubakar and the ADC as the battle for control of the opposition intensifies? And I'm delighted to say that I'm joined now exclusively in the studio by Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, former governor, former defense minister, architect of the Kwankwasia movement, and one of the defining voices in Nigeria's shifting political terrain. And I know I said that a number of times. You were almost rolling your eyes. They're like, not me again. No, they're talking about. Good to see you, sir.
Charles,
thank you very much indeed for coming here. Now, the NDC has officially zoned its presidential ticket to the south, and you have publicly backed that decision. For many Nigerians, that was unexpected. Why did you support it? Was that decision driven by principle, by political realism, or the recognition that the opposition simply cannot afford another bitter internal battle over zoning?
Thank you very much, Charles. Maybe all of the above. But let me say that I am so happy that I joined this rapidly growing party, the NDC. I believe so far so good. We are doing well. And I met people that I can call like minds, ranging from the leader of the party, Senator Dixon, the former governor of Bayelsa State, of course, Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, and many other leaders that are today in our party. And I believe that many more are coming. And I'm happy to say that right from day one, we sat down together, we looked at the situation on the ground in this country, and we decided to take some major decisions, including what you just mentioned, that is zoning the presidency to the south for 4 years. And of course, after that, the presidency will rotate to the north. We are very happy that we are loyal party members wherever we find ourselves. We realized even before we joined the party was contemplating to zone it to the south for many obvious reasons. And therefore, almost all of us joining from the north, we accepted, because as it stands now, people are debating. Some would say it should come to the north. Others will say it should go to the south. But from our own end, we believe the best way to go now is to take it to the south so that we can eliminate the confusion that emanated from the death of our brother, our friend, Umar Musa Yar'Adua. That actually introduced the confusion into the system. Even though, in a way, one can argue that from 1999 to date, the South have done more years than the North.
Well, it depends on how you count it.
That's from 1999 to date, yes.
Because if you count it from independence in terms of including military rule.
Yeah, it depends on how it suits you.
Yeah.
And in the South now.
So it suits you from 1999 then?
Yeah, well, and it didn't work with the party. What worked now is counting from Buhari. Anybody from the South on that side of argument would say that he had 8 years. And the South is now doing its first term. In the next 1 year or so, it will be 4 years. So the arguments are there. I believe that it's good for us to be having consensus. There is no point in fighting. And what is key now is not presidency from the North or from the South. What is key is to have a quality leadership. People who are enthusiastic, who are determined and committed to give the country the leadership it deserves. You see, by now, especially those of us in the political trenches, would tell you that it is not only the man from your end that would make the country move forward. We have seen what happened during Obasanjo. We are part of it, and we believe he has done his best. From there, our brother, our friend came in, Umar Musa Yar'Adua, of blessed memory. There were issues, especially challenges of his health. When Jonathan came, we had many issues, especially the agreement at that time that he would do 1 term. For whatever reason, things have decided to change, and many things happened along that direction. But what is even relevant is the Buhari administration. I worked so hard, and I'm sure you remember we brought about 1.9, almost 2 million votes. But as politicians, we are not recognized. We put our lives even on the line that time. But unfortunately, we could not see any benefit either as individuals or the constituencies that we represented. Of course, thereafter, we have this administration again. Everybody knows there are issues, and therefore people are determined at grassroots level, and even at the level we are operating now, that there should be some level of changes. And that is why I'm sure the Nigerians, since we decided to join NDC, have decided to come and join us. And you could see what is happening almost everywhere in this country, and even beyond. People are opening offices everywhere across the world. So we're happy about that.
And of course, by supporting Southern zoning, you're effectively conceding that Peter Obi is now the front runner for the NDC presidential ticket. Is that right? Are we looking at an Obi Kwankwaso or OK ticket and not a Kwankwaso Obi KO ticket?
Well, that is how it should be, but we are, like I told you, are loyal party members. Of course, party is supreme. When it took decision to do this zoning, we all accepted, and we are working on it. Now, the likely chances are what you exactly said, and I'm sure Nigerians will be happy about it.
When you say the likely chances, I mean, your supporters in the north see you as one of the region's strongest political figures. I mean, how difficult was it convincing them to accept the idea of another southern presidential candidate so soon after the emergence of Bola Tinubu that you would then support?
Now, you see, the issue now is that each and every individual in this country has one issue or the other to demand for change, ranging from the economy to the issue of insecurity, especially in this part of the country, to the issue or issues that we have seen with infrastructural developments, especially in this part of the country, and so on and so on and so forth. And that is why you find so many people are not even thinking of he has to be from my religion, he has to be from my part of the country, he has to be tall, he has to be short. Of course, people are looking for vibrant people who are strong enough to do the job, especially based on recent experiences. So nobody is waiting for anybody to tell him what to do, because everybody has a reason to say yes, we are yearning for change, and positive change for that matter. And I believe the names we mentioned and the party itself represent that change people are talking about. So that is why within a couple of weeks that we joined this party, you find so many people across the country who are pushing, who are coming around, who are registering with NDC, sorry. And we always add them at the same time to register with INEC, because it's only when you register with INEC that you can be in a position to bring in
Indeed.
an effective and positive change.
But I'm sure you know that critics are already saying that this arrangement that you have in the NDC risks alienating parts of the North politically. Are you worried that the opposition in general and the NDC in particular may unintentionally weaken itself in key northern states?
You see, whatever you do, people will bring in some arguments for and against. And that is part of the democracy. For us, we stand by the fact that we need a very committed, solid, and of course, effective leadership. And that is exactly what this country needs now. For me, it's not a matter of North or South or any other
but it's not just
differences.
you.
That's what I'm saying. It has to start from me.
Right.
And then it is our responsibility to go and sell those ideas to the people. Yes, people who are on the other side or who are in the other parties will go and tell their own stories. And I'm happy we have enough time for everybody to go and tell his own stories. And probably that is why I'm even here, to convince the people, especially the young men and women and other nationalists, that yes, there is need to have this solid and credible leadership that will come to stop all these evils that are happening, especially the issue of insecurity in northern Nigeria and even in the south, the issue of economy. People are complaining everywhere. The issue of infrastructure and so on, the matter of education. That's the area that I'm very much interested in. And I can tell you, as a former Minister of Defense that you mentioned, I am even shocked and surprised by what is happening.
What would you do differently if
our soldiers, I can tell you, our soldiers, the military that we have in all the parts of this country are people who are well trained, locally and internationally. They are determined to do the right thing. I think, in my opinion, what is lacking is the political will. And both of us, my humble self and Peter Obi, have agreed to tackle that issue head on to ensure that there is peace and stability in this country.
So let me ask you this, definitively, ineluctably, if Peter Obi eventually becomes the NDC candidate, your role would be that of his running mate. Is that clear?
I told you right from the beginning.
Well, I just want to be sure that.
You can be sure that
so
if the party decides,
candidate.
If the party decides that I should be the running mate of any candidate from the south under this circumstance, I will be happy to work together with him.
And you believe that you and Peter Obi are the men to revive Nigeria's economy, reduce poverty and corruption, lift living standards, set Nigeria on the right path of rectitude? I mean, do you have that much faith in Mr. Obi, the man you were just 3 years ago running against in the 2023 presidential election.
What you said is correct. Personally, I cannot remember any better combination, no matter how much time you are given to find those who can beat us in terms of doing the right thing for this country.
Nigerians, of course, as I'm sure you know, because you yourself have been involved politically for a long time in this country, they've seen alliances collapse because powerful politicians agreed publicly but competed privately. Can you categorically say that there is no hidden struggle for control, not necessarily you and Peter Obi, but between your camp and his camp?
Well, I can tell you from my experience as former Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, I had an opportunity to work with my Speaker, and we worked very well. I was in Kano for 8 years. Despite the difficulty of my then Deputy Governor, we were able to work for 8 years amicably, to the extent that I handed over to him. And of course, in the Senate and other places in the NDDC, we worked amicably with people. You see, the problem people are having, especially leaders, is that they are too greedy to the extent that they begin to have issues. But from what I have seen at federal level and state level where I had opportunity to work, there is so much to do. You don't have to fight, you advise. You give it, there is too much to be done. And in fact, that's why you have even ministers. You have other chief executives and so on, and so many advisors. So I don't see from my experiences of the past why deputies or vice will fight with the president or governor or so. So I am positive that we will have a very good working relationship. And I can tell you that you can see it even from the past. During the First Republic, we had people, the leadership, political leadership from the North, work together closely with the people from the Southeast during the NCNC and of course NPC days. So also in the Second Republic, immediately after the war, of course we were younger people at that time, but I as a students leader, I had an opportunity to be part of the national movement that at the end of the day culminated into MPN and our own portion of PRP. And you have seen what happened. Our leaders, Shagari and others, worked very closely with the Southeast as Alex Ikweme as his vice president. It went on and on. I think there was a change during the about the Third Republic, where I was Deputy Speaker, House of Reps, where for many obvious reasons there was an election. The election was annulled. And after all that, the government under the military that time, for that reason and many other reasons, decided to bring in Shonakan from the southwest, just maybe because of the cancellation of that. And even after that, maybe the military and other leaders worked together and brought in Chief Olusegun Obasanjo from the southwest again. And it went on and on. Even the Bola Tinubu now probably is a beneficiary of all that. So the point I want to make is that right from the beginning, this sort of alliance has been in existence. For whatever reason, it was derailed, but now we are going back to what Tafawa Balewa
you're trying to revive it.
Have done during their time. And in Second Republic, Shehu Shagari and co did with the leadership of the Southeast. So they are our friends. We want to work together with them. But for me, it wasn't just because, we are going to Southeast just because of Southeast. No. I looked around together with our leadership in the North to say, okay, who do we think is capable? Who can come and work together with us honestly so that we can move this country. And along the line, we realized that Peter Obi is at forefront of it, and that's why we all accepted to work together.
And beyond just the two of you, I think I touched on this earlier. I mean, both of you command two of the most passionate political movements in Nigeria, Kwankwaso and the Obedient movement. But I mean, passionate support bases also can clash. How difficult has it been managing those two and getting them to come together to achieve a common end?
You see, even before we say a word, they are all working together. And of course, together, they created what they call OK. Initially, before we were told of the zoning by the party, some from Obedience will say OK, and some from Kwankwaso will say KO. But at the end of the day, they are working not only in this country, all over the world. So I don't think we have any problem with that. But I can assure you, our group is so disciplined. Our group is such that you can't hear any serious negative issue from their side. I believe Obedience are the same.
Now, a few weeks ago, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was sitting where you're sitting now on the same program, being interviewed by me. He remains politically active within the ADC orbit, but he seemed to think that your command of votes in Kano, the Kano area, had been split. In other words, he was trying to suggest that you had a very limited scope in terms of the kind of votes that you can bring, and that even within your natural territory, which is Kano, that the vote is now split because you split with your protege, who is the current governor of the state. Well, what is your reaction to that?
I have no issue with that, and I think we have passed that level now. We are in NDC, and for now, I know they are in ADC. I wish them well, but you see, anybody who is talking about or asking a question, what do they plant here, is not patient. Let's wait for the election and see whether votes are splitted in Kano or not.
But the opposition has effectively split into two competing opposition blocks now. Because, I mean, you're very influential in the north. Nobody can deny that. And in many other parts of the country. I mean, but Atiku Abubakar is also very influential. He's in the ADC, you're in the NDC. The vote is split.
Now, we must still work together before the election. You see, I personally, and I think even Obi himself, decided to leave ADC not because we are fighting with Atiku or anybody there. We decided to leave that party because we realized that there are some issues. As it stands now, they have three major issues, which we believe from our own side are very difficult to resolve and field candidates. Now, people have to be flexible. You have to work. This is our time. And whatever advantages and disadvantages that are on the ground, you have to look at them. So mainly, we decided to leave the party because of those issues. And whether they will be able to field candidates in that party or not is just a matter of time. It will come and pass. So it's not like we had the primary election. This is not the first time if we had stayed to have primary election with our leader, Atiku Abubakar. I remember in 2015, we had primary in Lagos. Buhari was number 1, I was number 2, he was number 3, Rochas was number 4, and later Isaiah was number 5. There was an election again in 2019 in Port Harcourt. He won the election. I was his coordinator for the North. We worked for him. Politics is just like a game. I'm not fighting anybody. And I'm not expecting anybody to fight me. But the fact remains, as you rightly pointed out, so many things have changed in this country. You have leaders, many of them don't even realize what is happening in the social media. We have leaders who hardly have any contact with the young men and women. People of your age, my age, or especially the age of Atiku, are very few in this country, comparatively with the younger people. The younger people have their own way of thinking. Even our children, you will be surprised, even 2023 election, in my own house, my own daughter was telling me to go and work with Peter Obi. She didn't say she was obedient, but she wanted me to work together with him. Now, and vice versa, you'll be surprised, even in your house or anybody's house in the south, there may be Kwankwaso people there you wouldn't know. Maybe your watchman is Kwankwaso. Maybe a house boy that cooks for you is a Kwankwaso. Unless he knows you are interested, he will not tell you because he doesn't want to offend you.
Indeed.
So you see, there is a lot happening in this country. But people at that level we are talking about don't even understand. People are talking of religion, people are talking of ethnicity, people are talking, especially those of us at that level, at our ages. But the younger people are looking for the right leadership for this country. And I think they are absolutely right.
Well, let's talk about the APC, because that is the one party that you appear determined to remove from power. Its supporters, the APC supporters, argue that while the opposition keeps reorganizing itself endlessly, the ruling party is consolidating power quietly and strategically. What is your reaction to that? They're building resources, they're building structures. I mean, they control 31 governorships across this country. They've got 600 and something or more, I mean, local government in their back pocket. I mean,
you see, Charles, I will tell you.
How do you react to all of that?
The election of 2027 is going to be unique. Election will be between Nigerians and, I don't know whether to call them the leaders or the operators or whatever. That's what is going to happen. It's not going to be between a party, this party, and that party. Now, I can tell you for free that our governors, most of them, I wouldn't say all, have made so much mistakes politically. To the extent that most of them are not with the people. And that's why people are yearning for change. I can tell you what stands today is all the governors, the 33, the 36, whatever number they are relying on Bola Tinubu to win election. And he himself, my senior brother and good friend, is also relying on the governors. The question is, which governor? Where are the governors now? With due respect and due humility, they made so many mistakes.
What happened?
So also at the leadership level, you see, if you are a president, if you are a governor, try and look for credible people who relate with their the constituencies. Because people see president through the faces of their representatives in government. If you go to Kano, for example, people see President Bola Tinubu through the face of Ganduje, through the face of Abba the governor now, and so on and so forth. Now you ask the question, how do our people see them? That's the question. And it applies to all the states. Now people believe if you are a governor, you can do anything. None of that is not correct, especially now, where eyes don't open now. People are looking for a way out. People are not happy with the status quo, and they are working so hard to change that status quo. So ab initio, there was problem at national and problems at state level. Many people believe money is everything. Money is just part of one pillar in election.
Yeah,
If you
but
have
it's
them,
certainly
they are
an
important.
important thing in
But there are
Nigerian
other important
politics.
things that are key. If you just leave that pillar alone, the whole structure will collapse.
Yeah, but up to this point, money has been a decisive factor, hasn't it, in
It's-
Nigerian elections?
no. Especially, I can tell you, with these movements, money is just one pillar out of so many pillars.
Right, but
to the extent
right.
that I can tell you that, look at the example of Kano. In 1999, we had no senator, no House of Reps, no commissioner, no state government, no federal government. We won election. The same thing is 2023. No national government, no state government, no local governments, no contractors, no plots, no nothing. And people came, they will collect the money and vote for us. Some will even say, we don't want your money, we don't want your textile, we don't want your Maggi or you don't rice. Even now, people are distributing rice because they think northerners are like chicken. You throw them grains, they will come and you cut them. Things have changed. In fact, they have changed a long time ago.
Well, they certainly have changed because, I mean, you've split with the governor who you came in, some would say you brought in. I mean, and it's happened there repeatedly. And I was going to ask you this, the APC, I mean, we were given the impression that you were negotiating with them. You had discussions with them. What happened?
No, I can tell you.
Things fall apart, sort of thing?
I can tell you in 2015, we considered seniority.
I'm talking about in 2020.
I'm coming.
526.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Right.
In 2015, we considered seniority. We brought in Ganduje to be our flag bearer. Of course, he won the election. He changed his mind. So when 2019 came, we decided to test our structure in Kano. Abu was not the most senior. He was far away from it. And that was why one brought him, just to change, to test that structure and ensure that whoever we bring will win that election. That's how he came. And we considered the issue of loyalty because he has been with me for over 40 years. Now we brought him, and the structure stood up really and delivered him. So our structure is not based on any individual. I can tell you, we can change your name now and many other things and take you to Kano. I can tell you, can win.
I like that. Well, I might just consider that.
You can win because you see, over the years, that's on a lighter mood.
Yeah.
Over the years, we are able to establish goodwill, and nobody can run away from it. I can tell you for free that in 4 years, we sponsored over 3,000 abroad. Many of them are professors now, associate professors, doctors, medical doctors, pilots, those who are in the sea now, you know, piloting ships and so on. They are all over the world. And I can tell you, some of them may come only 4 years to do this election. You can't beat them. We built 2 universities. All these universities, all the products see us as people who established that university we have directed. We established 26 institutes. We were empowering women, youth, and everybody. Free medical service. Even education was free. For 8 years, we are in Kano. We feed our children in the school, give them 2 sets of uniform in primary schools. We sponsored them locally, private universities, at least 5 private universities, and so and federal universities. So you see, and these are the sort of things we wanted those governors coming up to emulate. People will choose to have money. To the extent that people now will say, Kwankwaso has no money. Yes, I have no money, but I'm in peace, that is one. And monies are everywhere now. We have never lost the election because of money. In fact, we have never lost the election in the actual sense in Kano. They will do magu and straight it. This last election was nothing. It was Abba as our candidate. Abba has been with me right from civil service up to politics. He has been my PA in Kano, Ministry of Defense, everywhere I went.
But obviously you're now, you're on
as a governor.
Right. You're on a national level now, so you're going to need support beyond Kano.
No, that's what we are saying.
Right.
No, that's my base.
Right.
And even those, our leader, when he came, he was referring to Kano.
Yes.
Forgetting that other places, we have people. You see, me and you and all other people in the country, whether Christian, Muslim, or anything, we have many things in common. We are human beings. If I slap you, you will feel pained. If I praise you or I give you something, you'll be happy, and so on and so on. We are all the same. And that's why I always say that Nigerians are good people. In fact, very good people. Their elasticity limit is so much that leaders keep on.
But you
stretching
didn't
and
answer a question I asked you about your relationship or your consultations with the APC. Because it was reported that you were talking to them and that you were in the process of going to join the APC, and then things fell apart. And the reason I ask you that is that it raises questions about what your ideology is. If the same APC that you're now turning against in the NDC, you were considering joining them, what kind of ideology do you have?
You're just talking of rumor.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you. That's why you're
that's
here.
what I'm telling you.
Okay.
That one was a rumor.
Okay.
But at stage, we collectively, as Kwankwaso, decided from NNPP to talk to everybody.
Right.
We didn't want to go it alone unless if it was necessary. Under that circumstance, our state government, in connivance with some people at national level, decided
Talk to them a bit more than you did.
Introduced issues within our party. Now, at that time, we were open to discuss, and that's what we have been saying. But at the end of the day, there was never any negotiation with us to go to APC and so on. But I can tell you that if they had agreed for whatever reason to go for discussion, we will bring our manifesto, we will bring what we think should be done for the good people of this country. And that's exactly what we are doing now with OB and others in the NDC. We cannot just join somebody and just to go there and mess up ourselves.
Right.
We are not in a hurry in any case.
Well, we're fast running out of time, so let's move further afield. And let me ask you about a proposed bill before the US Congress, the Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act 2026, which has reportedly named you in connection with alleged severe religious freedom violations. That is clearly no small matter. When a foreign legislature invokes your name in the context of human rights, it raises the stakes far beyond domestic politics. How did your name get into that conversation in Washington?
Well, I don't know, but there's a lot of rumor that it was submitted by our enemies there, I mean here in this country, to them.
But why you?
Why you?
That's
the question.
I mean,
why
so
me?
many other people
I can tell
in
you.
Nigeria.
I can tell you the irony of the whole thing. When Sharia came from Zamfara in the year 2000, I really wanted to study, and even me as a Muslim understand it. Some people are too much in a hurry. They wouldn't wait, and they believe that I was not keen. And somebody wrote private bill to the State Assembly. Before you know it, they followed the due process and submitted it for signing. We studied it and we realized that it was important, very important, and we have not seen anything there that actually that should stop us. And in any case, even if I didn't sign, the implication is within no time it will become law if I don't sign. So while people were angry at that time with me, that I wasn't enthusiastic, I didn't submit the bill, and so on and so forth. Now, 2026, somebody was blaming me for that Sharia in Kano. Whereas 12 states.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just Kano, is it? I mean,
so I don't know. My guess is as good as your own. But the reality is, you are sure it's not my friend who has submitted my name. But you see, U.S. Congress are not foolish people. Of course, they will investigate. At the end of the day, they will realize that they are accusing the wrong person. I may have my own.
Well, I presume you put up your own defense.
We have done that already, and I'm sure some experts are handling it.
Because I don't mean to bang on about it, but how concerned are you that this could affect your domestic and international standing, especially if you remain a potential presidential or vice presidential contender? I mean, you're being talked about as a running mate. Do you expect that they'd be reluctant to choose you if this bill goes through? Because it might end up going through.
I'm sure, I'm confident it will not go through. They will investigate. It's not correct. It's not true. And of course, it will fail.
Right. Well, we'll have to watch and see how that goes. We're almost out of time, and it's been absolutely brilliant having you here. What's your final word to Nigerians this evening?
Well, my final word is to urge Nigerians to be wise. People should not be carried away by emotions and sentiments. Democracy is good in the sense that people are given their opportunity to choose. And if they make a mistake, they live with that mistake for 4 years or even more. Why we felt it is important for us to be where we are is to give alternative to Nigerians. If there is only one party, of course some will go and vote, some may decide to stay away and have voter apathy. And then one has the right to accuse politicians at our level for not giving them an alternative. Now we are giving an alternative. People, at least in this part of country, know me, and they know what I stand for. And that is why, at least anybody or anywhere that I am known, I have that very strong support, because they know where I stand. In the southern part of the country, it's the same thing with Peter Obi. So we are giving this alternative to Nigerians. And therefore, I urge them to register with INEC. I urge them to vote wisely and also do whatever they can to defend their votes, to ensure that every vote in this country counts, and give us an opportunity, give our party opportunity to see what can be done. We are people with reasonable amount of experience, and therefore we will do our possible best.
Right. Okay. Just very quickly before we go, what's your relationship, I mean, now with Atiku Abubakar?
Very good. And nothing. He has been you see, many people don't know. A young Rabbi Kwankwaso was with Atiku under Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua to form PF, People's Front. Then from there, it culminated into SDP. We were there, they were our seniors in terms of age and even position in the system, but I was lucky to be Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps. A young man with that position at that particular time, I was part of them. We were in the Constitutional Conference together. I was an elected delegate to the Constitutional Conference of 1994-95. And we were together with them and many other people. So I am happy to say that I have no any grudge against him or any politician for that matter. I am doing what I think is necessary. And I mean, people, this is democracy.
And what would be the future of that relationship? And you mentioned earlier that you still think of the possibility of working with him as part of the opposition going forward.
Oh yes, there are big possibilities that we can work together. Let me take an extreme case. Supposing for whatever reason they were not able to field any candidate, I believe we have to work together. We are much closer to them than any other person. We didn't leave the party simply because we didn't like Atiku or we didn't like anybody there. So our prayer is that they have an opportunity to field candidates, and they will have an opportunity to to resolve the issues. Because I can tell you, my colleague Amechi is there. Amechi, by whatever reason he would want to contest election, I don't see. And so also Atiku himself, here he said he's doing his last contest.
But do you think your relationship with Peter Obi might affect your relationship with Atiku? I mean, if he's in the ADC, you've got a relationship with Obi now, and Obi is someone contending against him. I mean,
no, I don't think. A few times that I talked to Obi, I have not seen any bad blood between him and Atiku.
Right.
Of course, these are people who are vying for a particular ticket. Everybody will want to take it. But at the end of the day, I don't think they are fighting. I mean, Peter did not tell me that he is an enemy to Atiku or anybody in that. But we all agreed that there were issues there. We all agreed that we should take another platform. And coincidentally, the leader of a party, Dixon, decided that we should come together. And they put everything, the manifesto of the party, everything together with the logo, with the emblem, everything. We said, this is perfect. Even if I were to draw something, it will be the same. Now, what we are doing now is to bring whatever Peter would want to do if he becomes president, plus my own and that of party, and come up with something that we believe is good for Nigeria and Nigerians. And I believe that they will certainly support us.
Right, okay. We'll be looking forward to that document. And I want to thank you very much indeed, Senator, for coming in. Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is a former governor, former defense minister, architect of the Kwankwasia movement, and one of the defining voices in Nigeria's shifting political terrain, now an NDC chieftain. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.